Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a lot of content to go over, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And let's see. Okay. Oh, hold on real quick. Okay, so today's agenda, I'm going to do a quick overview about J4 systems, since a lot of you, I believe, are pretty new to working with us, probably don't know too much about us. So I just want to take the opportunity to kind of let you know who we are, what we do, and how we can work with you. Then we're going to have a couple presenters who I'm going to introduce to you, give you a little bit of their background. They're going to go over just kind of the impact of welfare fraud, how it's impacting the community, how it impacts you internally. And then we're going to introduce our FraudTracker system to you, let you know the features, benefits of the system, how it works, how it can help you in your daily operations. We're going to go over the base cost and maintenance packages that we sell. And then we're going to have a demonstration to show you the actual application, and we'll have Q&A. So feel free to type in any questions as we go through it. That way you don't forget your questions, and then we'll make sure to address all questions at the end. But before we get started, I do want to ask everyone to mute their phone. That way we don't have any background noise as we go through this. And if you have any technical difficulties throughout, just type them into the question box, and we'll make sure to address those. So a little bit about J4 Systems. We are a technology provider. We are an enterprise software development leader. So we're actually locally owned and operated. We're headquartered here in Sacramento. Rockland is where our office is, so we're in the greater Northern California area. We service all of California. We are a family-owned and operated business. Our owners, as well as many of our employees, are very involved in the community. There's many charities that we're involved in. So just want to put that out there, because we do believe in working locally and investing in the local community. We've been in business since 1994, so over 18 years in business, specializing in the development of software solutions. We have a very large development team. We've developed many different types of software packages for all different kinds of business, both private and public sector. Our development process encompasses all phases of software development. So any business need that you have, we're able to automate that, put that into an application, and help any processes, challenges that you have through the use of technology. We actively work with many municipalities throughout California, so our development team has already gone through the process of live scan. Their fingerprints are in file with Department of Justice. It's a process that we're very familiar with, and we do a lot of work with a lot of the different cities and counties throughout California. A little bit more about the enterprise software and how we view this part of our business. Because we are a full-service IT provider, we do desktop support, server support, full network management. So enterprise software is something that is a very large component of what we do. So we build applications for the connected enterprise. We integrate systems and reuse your assets and take into consideration throughout the design phase. So we come in with an engineer. We make sure that your infrastructure will support the application that we're going to be implementing for you. So from beginning to end, we have the expertise in-house to let you know any requirements of putting in a new software application. Any legacy applications or technologies that you might be using, we're able to identify those and, integrate those with whatever the new technology and system is that we're going to be implementing. We also have a very strong expertise in handling complex issues. We have security experts. We're able to scale, based on whatever size your organization is, from maybe 5 computers to hundreds to thousands. So we're exceptional at handling any size, from small business to enterprise. We build business intelligence capabilities by integrating applications with reporting tools And actually, the application we're going to be showing you today has a lot of reporting functions in it, and we're going to be showing you some of those reports. We also provide transparent and flexible engagement models to work closely with our customers. Working with state, local, and counties, we understand how budgets work and how fiscal years work, and we're able to really make sure that we deliver on time and within the budgets to fit what you guys have. So we're very aware of that process, and I know that you know, you guys are coming up on your fiscal year end right now, so that's part of why we wanted to get this demonstration to you before the year's over. So I just want to do a little bit about our presenters today. We have a large team here of lots of different types of expertise, and I've pulled two of them today to show you this application because they were very involved in developing it from the ground up. So Tiffany Sequeira is our Chief Operations Officer. She's actually been with JForce Systems for over 10 years. Her day-to-day role is to manage the operations here, including business development, sales and marketing, customer service. She works very closely with all of our customers. Her emphasis is bringing about solid results and making sound decisions that drive growth and profitability for our company. She's very involved in new development of any new product or service that we take on. And then we have Jared Roberts. He's our lead application developer. He was the lead on developing the SIU FraudTracker System that we'll be showing you today. He's at the forefront of defining all scopes of all applications that we develop. He understands exactly what use cases are, and he drills down into detail to find what needs to be included in the code that he writes. So he is at the front line of meeting with all of our customers to develop their, an application specific to your needs. He's been with our team since 2005, and he's part of what keeps J4 growing as we develop new applications and grow this line of our business. So he's going to be providing the actual demo for you today. Tiffany is going to talk to you a bit about how we developed it. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tiffany get started with the presentation. Tiffany, are you there?
Hello?
Having a little technical difficulty. Give us just a moment.
Danielle, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can everyone hear Tiffany?
Yes. Or on mute. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Danielle. While many of you are new to the life cycle of development, I'm going to assure you that this presentation is going to be about increasing efficiency through the investigative process. So hopefully we won't, bore you with the whole technical aspect of the application, but we will get to the demo, which I think will be the most compelling. One of the things I can definitely relate to is the unknown feeling when viewing this particular information for the first time. SIU, welfare fraud, food stamp trafficking were all foreign to me, but it quickly became something that I was passionate about. The department allows me and other Californians to kind of live in our bubble, protecting the state from people with ill intentions and trying to circumvent the system. But to my surprise, as we went through the research, we found that the challenges which surfaced seemed to inhibit the team's investigative success. Now, I'm not implying in any way that the efforts are inadequate. In fact, I feel the complete opposite. Public servants are many times the hardest working and most passionate about their impact to society with a drive to serve and protect. But let's face it, the reality is time is limited, resources that are reliable are scarce, and fraudulent activity exists. So, what's being done to stop it? Let's move on. Danielle? All right. My colleague Jared Roberts and I sat down with a team of investigators to understand the life cycle of a fraudulent referral all the way through the prosecution with the DA's office. And some of the common challenges that we heard were the difficulty to report tips through a cumbersome spreadsheets by caseworkers, as well as the inability to mine data, meaning a process at which the investigator can easily locate a suspect's complaint and tie it to a previous complaint, a closed case, or an inactive case. Some of the other challenges were the ability to offer automatic prioritization of cases for the investigative team. I'm sure you can relate that some cases carry more weight and offer a much larger risk. We also found that the ability to quickly access evidence from a previous case which didn't deliver enough information to pursue and link to a new complaint was very difficult. You know, all these challenges made the task more difficult and increasingly shifting investigative efforts towards administrative tasks. So the SIU FraudTracker System came about, and it was built to support these efforts, to decrease the cumbersome tasks of administrative efforts and allow the SIU team to focus their efforts on what they do best. So gathering the facts, analyzing the data, and building a solid, indisputable case. Hopefully you'll understand from this slide that it's an analytics program that provides information to simplify the process of preventing, detecting, investigating, and reporting fraud cases in our welfare benefits program. Okay, so how can it help? Right? The SIU FraudTracker System provides an easy-to-use dashboard that displays pending referrals and investigators' current case and other open cases, and we're going to demonstrate this interface for you shortly. It also provides the ability for social services to easily submit referrals, a case management interface where staff will manage the case from open to close to hearing outcomes, and this is where the reports will be drawn from. It provides instant investigation and DPA reports. Many counties have suggested that this reporting process takes anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks, and these reports in the SIU FraudTracker are generated with a click of a button, allowing staff members to meet the demands of an extremely high caseload. It also allows the ability to search system-wide for referrals and cases in the system. So let's dive briefly into features, and then we're going to be on to the demo. It's fully automated the fraud referral form, the early fraud detection questionnaire, and early fraud investigation form. So a few highlighted features are the ability to easily classify the priority of a case, as well as verification of identity and citizenship status, and false social security information. And this allows the SIU team to really focus their effort and passion on protecting the people that truly are in need of public assistance. You know, as my team of developers have built this, you know, we've built dozens of applications, and this is one that has created the most excitement and also the most satisfaction. So a couple other quick highlights before we on to the demo is it provides ease of access for basic demographic information on a suspect, case assignment information, the ability to add suspects or witnesses to a case, and if you'd like this data sheet right here that kind of dives a little bit deeper into the actual features and or benefits, you can IM us and we will go ahead and send you a data sheet on all of the features. Now, one of the most compelling aspects of the application is that it takes the DPA 266 and it's fully automated. So the reports are generated in minutes rather than weeks. So I'd like to turn it over to Jared then, and Jared, let's see if we can dive into a demo.
Okay, thanks, Tiffany. Let me just get screen sharing enabled for myself and get to the login screen. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, everybody able to see the initial screen here, the login screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just a little introduction of the application. The actual architecture of the application is run using Microsoft IIS server. It uses the Microsoft .NET framework, the latest framework, which is 4. It also uses Microsoft SQL Server. It does have the ability to either run on full-blown SQL or SQL Server Express. So if there's some licensing limitations and you only can do the SQL Express version, then that is able to do that as well. The underlying authentication source for this is the Active Directory. Inside of your Active Directory, you would have your county set up, various groups inside of Active Directory that would have different access to the application depending on who they are. So Tiffany had mentioned the ability for outside social service agencies to submit referrals into the fraud unit, and basically they would just need to be added into a special Active Directory group, and then those individuals would be able to log in and submit referrals that would then be filtered down to the fraud team. So this right here is just our basic login screen, logging into the application. The first thing that the investigators are presented with is a list of all their cases, all cases that are currently assigned to them. And there's a way within the case to apply special priority to different cases. Also, the open codes are different codes that relate to some of the state reports, and these open codes are actually weighted within the application to apply special privileges or weight to the particular open codes. That way, the idea behind it is ultimately to go after the low-hanging, quote-unquote, low-hanging fruit in these cases so that they can get resolved quicker, and that the caseloads can kind of start going down more and are a little bit more manageable. A few of the counties that we've dealt with, that's their main issue is they have thousands and thousands of referrals on file. Each of them are carrying a pretty heavy caseload, and then just trying to organize and trying to determine what ones are valid and what ones aren't is kind of a tedious process. And so hence the creation of the FraudTracker system in the means of being able to prioritize and give a high-level view electronically to this information, and to kind of help the flow of data into the system as well. So you could search quickly by case number up here in the upper right corner, just typing in either the case number or referral number, and it would immediately jump to that particular item. You could filter by the open codes and determine which ones are the ones that you're looking for. These are all the cases I'm currently assigned to. Here's all referrals that have come in that are currently assigned or that are currently pending. You can either look at the list by early fraud detection, meaning this is just a referral, you might want to go check this out type thing, or if this is actually an approved case coming through the system. Approved cases are ones that are a little bit more heavier weighted and should be kind of gone after first. These then, once they're submitted, they flow into the case system. So they turn from a referral, and all the data that's embedded into the referral then generates an open case that gets assigned to a particular investigator. There's also the overall queue. This isn't specific to a particular investigator. So as you can see, multiple investigators are in here. There's some unassigned cases. These can be filtered down so that you can really drill down into, show me all unassigned high priorities, and then you're able to quickly drill into those, make assignments, and continue the process of investigation and getting this information pushed through. There's also the 266 report. I'm not going to demo this per se today. If anybody's interested in seeing the generated output of this, we can go offline and do a one-on-one session where we can kind of demo that a little bit further, and kind of how the numbers are generated. Once we look at the referral, you'll kind of see how these numbers are being generated in a way, because you'll see how things are being put into different categories, different program types, different open codes, and different closed codes. And all of those really feed that 266 report that is kind of the beast of it all. Each case goes back to a referral so that we can really actually look at the referral source. Was it some, was this something that was coming off of a, you know, a fleeing felon, or was this something, you know, a referral from a parole officer? How did this come in? And then it kind of helps build that 266 report. So let me just show you a little bit about the actual cases themselves. So we'll drill into this particular case. This is all dummy data at this point. I don't want to present anything that would be sensitive or not. We have John Doe, aka Mel Gibson here, shows you the suspects here. You can have multiple suspects on a fraud case, but only one case win number. So although there's multiple suspects, there's going to be typically a primary suspect and then secondary suspects on those cases. So it might be a husband and wife, or it might be, and then later down the road they might have an additional fraud case where it's the husband on one case and the wife on another because now they're separated. So there's a single case win number that refers to one of these investigations, but you can have multiple suspects throughout this process. So you'll see their case win number here. If they're together, it may be the same number. At least that's kind of the feedback we've been getting through the investigation teams that we've dealt with. So it may be the same number, but they also could have multiple CalWin numbers depending on if they've separated, then come back together, and then separated again, and then come back together. So it kind of gets a little interesting. All the addresses will link out to Google Maps for you so that you can quickly, you know, identify the location on each of these suspects. Some of the main highlights, right, of course, is the open codes. These are all things that help feed that 266 report, that really help build what categories and what numbers we're counting as we're building that report out. So these can be added into the list and then saved back out so that they're you know, recorded with the actual case number. Another thing that you want to use is the program types, and these help also identify how those numbers are counted. So what is the actual program type that we're dealing with here? Maybe these three here. So is it a confidential or sensitive case? This is just informational more than anything. Setting the priority, this helps you when it's being displayed on your dashboard, as well as the status. Only open and pending cases will show up on the dashboard. If it's a closed, then you're going to have to use the advanced search feature to actually go in and mine further to find a particular case. There's other persons that are assigned to a case as well. Other persons may be witnesses, caseworkers, other people in the household. Maybe it's a son, a grandparent, or someone along those lines. All these people are added into the system and assigned a relationship to the suspect as well as a role. And then this information is ultimately fed up to your investigation report that you can then submit to the DA's office. So little information there, able to add, delete, and remove case persons, and they're organized and grouped by the role type they're in. Persons can exist in multiple roles. They could be a witness and they could be a suspect as well. So they can exist in multiple roles, and the system has the ability to track them in that way, so that you have full range of freedom on that note. General just gives a general synopsis of the information and what you're looking at. Allows you to type in rich text, the information. allows you to put emphasis on different things. This all will feed out to your final output investigation report that you're able to print off, so that you can put emphasis on particular items in the report that maybe need to be highlighted, and show that information very quickly. Allows you to add violations in. This violations table is fully customizable so that you can add the violations that maybe apply to you. There's also the ability to add a other that may be just a handwritten violation, something that maybe isn't in the system already. So it doesn't prevent you from entering violations that maybe you would like to include. Notes, once again, this is an output to the final report. Allows you to do canned notes, so that you can have multiple canned notes in the system, so you don't have to type the same information over and over and over again if it's something that is along the lines of, went out to the location, did a welfare check on so-and-so. All that information can be canned into a particular note and then quickly accessed so that this information can be saved. The note date, this is all allows you to kind of filter this up to the final investigation, so that you can kind of put an output of writings. When it does output to the final investigation report, it orders it by date so that it's chronologically correct for the person reading the report, and it'll give notes. It'll also only include the notes that are checked. This is in case you want to have maybe just a scratch pad of information on the case itself, but not necessarily included in the note, or it may be a work in progress note that maybe you don't want to include on the report at this time, but it may ultimately turn into a final report. So you can attach any documents that you would like into the system. These may be PDFs, they may be images, pictures, things of that nature. Allows you to put that information in, mark it as evidence. The attachment types are fully customizable as well, so you can have as many different categories as you would like. And then, of course, you have the other category where you can just type whatever you want on it. The evidence, anything marked as evidence, is also put on the final investigation report, and also it's put on the DPA 435 report that goes along with the submitting that one to the state. So there's a list of evidence, and the description and title of the evidence feeds over to that 435 report that's out there. Assignment history allows you to reassign, so in case someone goes on vacation or somebody retires or is fired, you have the ability to reassign. And then it reassigns it, puts it into their dashboard, and allows you to go from there. So, suspect history is another tab that's kind of highly useful. It allows you to see all cases and referrals that these suspects have been involved in, whether they were a witness, whether they were a suspect themselves. How it just shows you anything that they were related to, both referrals and cases. One of the underlying problems we saw in other organizations, in other fraud departments, is the fact that they would have maybe 2 investigators doing investigations on the same person, but they didn't know about it because they were named something different, or had different aliases, or one was doing an investigation on the wife and one was doing one on the husband, so that there was no way to kind of distinguish between the two. And this was kind of built and derived around that theory, and the fact that, hey, you know what, let's really give a high level exposure on what other cases and referrals that the suspects that are on this case were related to. And again, it gives you a little bit of a brief overview of that, and then allows you to click into those cases or referrals from this screen. Finally, a lot of the close information. Now, this is where a lot of this finally starts trickling down to that DPA 266 report, and the fact that we're now time stamping this as closed, and we can now mark it as closed. And then we also need to go in here and assign some close codes, and these all are specific so that they can categorize properly up to our 266 report. So. Also, along the same lines is the ability to kind of track the overpayment, and this helps determine prosecution efforts on how much they're going to try to compensate or recover, and allows that information just to be kind of fed up to the system. So it all totals it up, puts it on reports that are then exportable, or also. Not only can you print the reports, but you can save it straight into the case, and when you save them into the case, they actually show up in your attachments area. So as you print an investigation report, you can opt to have that investigation report be just added as an attachment into here as well. So it kind of gives you an extra little feature there. Some of the prosecution and ADH activity just collects further information that helps build and feed those 266 reports so that we can populate that information. Another report is the DPA 435 report that we kind of talked about, and this one kind of just talks about the violation status and where it's sitting, allows you to fill out information along these lines of what's going to be on the report, and then once you finalize this report, you can then print the report out, and you have the ability to do that. So, and like I said, you can save it straight to the case or send it to the printer and print the report as a hard copy. The final feature that I'm going to look at is just the alerts. Alerts can be attached to a particular case, and the next version we're actually going to be able to attach alerts to persons on a case, so both cases and persons. Basically what an alert allows you to do is to kind of provide notification to anybody who's opening up this particular case of that information. Maybe they have a dangerous dog at that location and you want to make sure that they know that, or maybe it's a front back house and they live on the back side of the house and mom lives on the front side, and you need to maybe supply that information a little bit clearer. You can go ahead and add alerts into this system and activate the alert, and then when the next person comes in and they hit this, a pop-up window shows up, shows them here's the alerts that are on this. They can clear the alerts. The alerts will then clear for 24 hours, or actually till midnight, and then the next day they'll receive those same alerts. So just allows a little bit of flexibility as far as interaction between different investigators in case investigators are handing off cases, or they just want to kind of keep track of different information about it. So in a high level, that's the FraudTracker system. Let me just jump over and see if we have any questions. If we do, we'll try to answer them. Also, if we're not able to answer them, or maybe they don't apply to the entire group, we can always schedule a one-on-one time, and we can kind of demo it a little bit more in depth with you at that time. So,
we do have a question in there, Jared.
Okay.
How is the information entered into the system? Does it all have to be manually entered?
Okay. So the flow of data happens two different ways. Either a new referral is generated by somebody inside of the SIU department, or it may be a caseworker or somebody outside, somebody who's handling a case or making a referral outside. There's also, I guess, a third way, right? Somebody calls on the phone, emails into the system, something along those lines, and that information is relayed through the main office. In all cases, the information is entered as a referral no matter what. So it always starts off in the referral state. If it's coming from an outside agency, that information that comes into the system doesn't need to be re-entered. It actually goes into the system and it's marked as, and then this is not maybe necessarily the greatest term to use, but it's marked dirty in a sense that it needs to be reviewed by somebody in the SIU department before it becomes a full-fledged case. And the purpose of that is we don't give outside people access to who we're investigating. We don't give them access to the suspects list or the persons table. They enter all that information manually themselves, and when it hits the SIU department, at that point, they need to go through a process of saying, oh, this person already exists in the system. This is the person who they're speaking with, and in that case, we have a system that actually helps that process, which will merge a person to another person. So there's a process of cleaning the data as it comes in, but other than that, it's a new referral that comes in, doesn't need to be re-entered. When the referral becomes a case, all that information is copied over to the case and then subsequently tracked within that case.
Okay. We have another
I have a question.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Is this compatible with the C4 system? Is it going to download from there, or is it going to be a double entry system where we're going to have to basically physically enter the information in for the new referrals?
So there's been some heavy interest in having that feature available. Currently, right now, this information is being hand-entered into the system. The biggest thing is working with the CalWIN system to have that information automatically populated based off CalWIN numbers that are being entered. So we're looking at interfacing at that point, but right now that is not a part of the feature set. So.
Okay, and the outside entry, how does that happen? Are people emailing, or
no,
is it going out on the web? They
are presented with a web page similar to what we have for your referral system, where they enter the information. There's a couple different ways that others have handled it. Some actually pre-qualify the data before it comes in, meaning that they have to fill out some sort of survey or a questionnaire, and based off the questionnaire, they basically say, yes, this is a valid referral, or no, this isn't a referral that we'll handle at this time. And if they do check the right check boxes, then they go to the referral screen where they can actually fill out the referral and finish the process. But yeah, they all enter it electronically as well, and then you just receive notification via email that a new referral has shown up, and then it also shows up in the dashboard as being a pending referral. So.
Okay, thank you.
Jared, we have another couple questions. Is source code or data schema available?
The source code will not be available, but the data schema will. It is an application that we hold to us, so it is compiled and obfuscated. But the data schema, it's a database. We've created the relationships and the data diagrams in the database, so that one is you have full access to your data schema and being able to do whatever you want with it. We've had some interest shown in SQL reporting services and utilizing the ad hoc SQL report designer inside of SQL reporting services to build additional reports. There's data models already created, so that process could be easily done. That's something that we have on our future feature set releases, is being able to use SQL reporting ad hoc tools to kind of even dig further into reports and getting access to the data at that layer. So.
Okay. Are there email notifications to assign investigators or referral creators?
Email notification to assigned investigators or referral creators. There is email. When a new assignment is made, an email does go out to the investigator. When a new referral comes in, a email comes in. Also, there may be additional information. Let's say an outside agency has made a referral and they don't supply you with all the information that you need. Maybe you need further information. There's a way to reject that referral. It gets sent back to the originator of that email or of that referral. They can continue the process and enter the rest of the information and then send it back to you. So there's a rejection process that sends it back to the originator. And there's all emails that go back and forth as far as that process is concerned. So every time an email or a case or referral changes context in the fact that there's a new user that's going to be interacting with it, an email is generated and sent out. So.
Okay. Do you see the other question there about the system capturing information for IPv disqualifications?
Yes. Yes, it does. And this has kind of been a new area that we've kind of dived into as far as the application's concerned. So I know there's some others that would like to have additional information captured and some that want less, but what we try to do is at least capture information that seem to be applicable to all the scenarios at this time, and then we try to custom suit the application where it needs to be. But yes, within the DPA report we are capturing allegations, being able to put in those allegations so that they finalize and print out on that final 435 report. So all the IPV stuff we try to capture, and gives you the rich text so that you can do some emphasis when you are able to print and save this out. So.
Okay. Is there a standardized form for entering findings?
Findings. Can you further expound? And then pricing?
Yeah, we're going to go over pricing
on the next slide.
Yeah, we'll go over the pricing as soon as we address the questions.
Okay. What is can Leon maybe jump on voice and help me understand what you're looking for on that standard?
Hello?
Yes.
So, hi. Do you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm trying to get that. I hear you on this. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get off here. Okay, you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. On findings, once the case has been worked and findings have been created for the case, is there a sort of standardized screen that you can enter your findings in for the case?
A lot of the times, what we found is the best way to do it is to put them into the notes section where you're basically collecting this information as you go along, and when you mark the check the checkbox include on report, that's where the finalized reports are being generated. When you say include on report, these are things that you're going to then obviously turn over to the prosecution or the 435 reports and things like that. So.
I see. So findings are put in essentially notes, right?
Yeah, you enter them as notes and or attachments, because you can write evidence or witness statements or pictures or things like that. So that the details of our reports, and each county obviously has a different way that they want to submit their report of investigation, and we kind of try to fine-tune that report based off of each county and how they want it. But that's how we generalize that information, is through the notes and through attachments. And then the synopsis in and of itself is like a case summary. What is this case involved, and who does it entail, and that actually does show up on the investigation report as well. So these three screens are your main screens for entering information that's going to then output to your reports.
Okay, thank you.
Jared, are they able to export data from their existing system into the FraudTracker system? Is there an API?
Currently, there is no API to do a mass import. It really, I guess, depends on the system that you have and what kind of data, how it's currently being stored. If it's in spreadsheets or Access or PageMaker or what, we'd kind of have to look at each different scenario independently and kind of assess probably the best course of action to get it in there. It is a SQL database that's designed with and best practices. So and it's pretty easy to follow as far as the data scheme is concerned. So assisting in that process should be fairly painless. But once again, I'd like to look at each individual scenario and kind of make some recommendations to you.
Okay. Looks like we might have another question coming in. Tiffany, do you want to go over pricing?
Sure. If you don't mind flipping on that slide, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is that all of the features and reports that we discussed today are in the base package. So really, it encompasses everything, and it's a flat rate of $34,550. We do offer maintenance plans. One of the things with the base package is because we've been working very closely with other counties and budgetary cycles is we can get creative with payments and or kind of stagger it out if that's something that is needed. And then we also offer ongoing maintenance plans, which, you know, throughout the course of Jared's demonstration, he mentioned next phase feature releases. And if you're on an active maintenance plan, then you receive .NET code optimization, any bug fixes that aren't impacted by infrastructure changes. It's a flat rate per month. And it also offers a number of incidents for investigators to call in and actually hit a help desk that leverages this application. So if it's a user question, how do I upload a file? How do I enter in this evidence? How do I convert this to an active case? And then they have a help desk that they can contact as part of the maintenance plan as well. And I think that's it. Danny, I don't know if we have any other questions.
I have another one. The only two reports available right now are the 266 and the 435?
Yes, in the base package, that's correct. Although if you'd like to include additional reports, then we can sit down and chat about the types of reports that you're looking for, and we can provide you a fixed fee to include that in the base package.
There's also an investigation report, and it's really based off of your county's needs. Each county kind of wants it in a different format submitted and how they want it submitted. So you would just need to submit how your county creates that report, and then that kind of is a part of the investigation report that goes out. So there's an internal county investigation report, and then there's the DPA reports, which are more state-driven reports. So there's a total of 3 reports at this time.
Oh, thanks, Jared. And it looks like there's a question around maintenance. Maintenance is actually based on the number of investigators that use the application. So I can't give you a fixed fee, but if you'd like, we can schedule some time with an account executive. We can talk about your individual county and what the maintenance cost would be. I can tell you, though, with one of the counties that's currently leveraging it, they have, I think, 5 investigators, and the maintenance was somewhere between $500 and $700 a month. And Jared, will this system interface electronically with the soon-to-be revised DPA 266 report?
As the 266 report gets upgraded and updated, we will provide forward compatibility as long as they're on the maintenance agreement. So if they're part of the maintenance agreement, then yes, you will be a part of the upgrade, per se, of the electronic formats.
How many organizations are using the app? We currently have 1 large county using it, although we can't release their information at this time.
Do we have any further questions? Looks like we might. And if anyone wants to unmute their phone and ask a question directly, feel free to do so.
And also, just as a note, you know, feel free, if you guys have further questions that you maybe want to take offline and do on a one-on-one, just contact the account exec, and we'll schedule something up and give maybe a little bit further in-depth demo. Maybe we can kind of go through your scenario and some of the configurations that you would want to request into the system. We're really looking to, more than anything, leverage your expertise and your lines of work to make this a much more robust system. We want to make sure it applies to everybody and that we qualify the data or the feature sets going in so that it's something that everybody maybe will find useful. So there will be branches in development on a case-by-case basis, but for the most part, you know, if you're part of the maintenance agreement, those feature sets that do come up as changes are made, you will have the ability to implement those if you want to. Obviously, they're not forced into your system unless you want them, but you know, different reports, things like that maybe we'll find useful across the board. Those are things that we can kind of build as a community more than anything. So.
Okay. We do have another question, although I don't quite understand the question. How many person years of development? Can you maybe expand on that a little, Leon?
Sure. You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We're just curious. How many developers and how long has it been under development? In terms of roughly, you know, is it taken 10 developers, 5 years, or something like that? Do you have any idea that we could give us on that?
Of our development life cycle, you know, I don't have that in front of me, but Leon, we can take that offline if you'd like to.
Okay, sure. Okay.
I can tell you that we've been in business for 17 years, and we have a full .NET development team on staff.
Okay.
I myself, I've been developing .NET for about 14 years now. 13 years. I went live with .NET when it converted over from ASP Classic, so I've been using it. My dev team has grown in size from upwards of 10 developers. You know, so right now we're at a pretty decent size. We have close to 2 or 3 active projects ongoing, and then we have the maintenance agreements that we commit to for the different applications that we've built to release required feature sets and things like that. So we do hold fast to our feature set releases and making sure that you know, our current products are really maintained well and that, you know, bugs are fixed quickly if bugs have been submitted and things like that. So we're very responsive and along those lines. So it's part of our SAP the agreement, service agreement.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. I do want to just show next steps if any of you are interested in discussing one-on-one your specific requirements. Let us know. Our phone number is here, or you can circle back with the representative that invited you to the webinar. We do encourage you to, set up a phone call with us so that we can give you specifically what the cost would be for your county, your SIU department. So I will send out a follow-up email with a quick survey. If you guys take just a couple minutes to fill that out and give us your feedback, that would be great. And then anyone that would like a copy of the presentation, you can request that from us. I'll send that to anyone that requests it. And also, if you have any questions after today, feel free to contact us. You have my contact information, and we want to make sure that we answer all of your questions. So I do want to thank everyone for joining us today, and we hope to hear from you and work with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.